everyone, it's Maria here from Pepperly Rose Paper Crafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I would like to thank those that have subscribed to my channel, who watch and who comment and support me generally. I really do appreciate your interaction and the fact that you take time out of your day to watch my channel. That's something I am very, very grateful for. So thank you all very, very much. So today I'm going to be featuring a card, and I'll be using the Easter Promise stamp set. This is a rubber cling stamp set. I'll be using this image over here, and I think these flowers are called crocus flowers. Absolutely beautiful. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what they look like to me. And I'm going to use this card as just a general card. Doesn't have to be for Easter, but how beautiful though is this card. So this is lovely sentiment there. May the promise of his wonderful gift fill your heart with peace and joy. Happy Easter, and I love that crucifix as well. And look how beautiful these flowers are as well. Just stunning. So just because this is called an Easter stamp set doesn't mean it has to be just for Easter. So I'll be featuring this stamp set today. The stitch shapes dies, I'll be using the largest circle. This is one of my most used dies. And I'm also going to be using the Coastal Weave 3D embossing folder. So we'll get started on this card. So what you will need is a 4" by 8" piece of purple posy cardstock. So I've already scored it at 4 inches. So what I'm going to do now is just burnish the score line. I love this colour so much. It's one of my favourite purples. It's just beautiful. Also using a piece of purple posy cardstock again, which is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 inch square, and that's to put on the front. Then I've got a piece of Whisper White, which is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and this will go on the inside of the card. And then I have some scrap Whisper White. So we'll get started on this card. I'll just bring my stamp, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the floral image in purple posy. Now this ink is not available to purchase, as Stampin' Up have basically had issues with the ink colour, that it doesn't take very well, and it changes. Mine's been fine, so I'm going to continue to use it, but you can use an equivalent. You can use Highland Heather, stamp off, and then you can get a lighter shade which is close to purple posy. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to stamp that right there and just have that like that on the bottom of the inner panel. Then I'm going to clean that off, and on a scrap piece of Whisper White I'm going to get Smoky Slate, and I'm going to do some no-line watercolouring with this using watercolour pencils. I'm going to stamp this off once, and I'm going to stamp it on here very lightly. That's too light. So I'll do it again on the other side. So I'll stamp off, and then I'll stamp on. Okay, and that's just to do the no-line watercolouring. So what I'll be doing is basically getting the equivalent of watercolour pencils. So we'll choose the colours that I'm going to use. These are Faber-Castells. I know they're not Stampin' Up pencils, but I really love these pencils, and I'm a full set girl, so I'm using them. So this is an equivalent that I can use. So it's quite close. I'm going to be using that, and I'm also going to be using a darker purple from this. So I'll be using this purple here. And for the greens, I'm going to be using, so that could be, say, Highland Heather, and say that's your purple posy equivalent, okay? And then I'm going to use a Granny Apple Green shade, and then I'll use an Old Olive to go with that. Yeah, that's just basically what I'm going to do. So with this, I'm also going to be using a blender pen. This is a must. You can use watercolor paper, or you can use Whisper White. I'm using Whisper White because this blended pen's been used for a while. So if I blend the colours, they won't be pilling the paper. So that's really good to have a more used blender pen. Sorry, I'm lost for words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the whole image with my pencil. And if it shows through once I've blended, then so be it, but it doesn't matter. It's nice and light. And I'm going to be blending the colour. So I'll do all of that. So if you can see here. So basically I've just outlined with the pencil. I'm going to do the same for all of them here. And then I'm going to do a light colour just over the top. Okay, so I've just finished now colouring that in, and I think it turned out beautiful. Not exactly no line watercolour, but it still managed to look nice, and I'm glad that I stamped it more subtle, so it's not overwhelmingly dark, and I like that. So I'm just going to just blend this colour out a little bit more, and I know I'm off, like I'm not within the lines, but I don't mind that. It kind of looks like it's shadows. So, with that now all finished, what I'm going to do is grab the largest stitch-shaped die, and I'm going to cut it. Just make sure I get it. I kind of stamped it in a really silly place, right on the edge, which is very silly of me. But, yeah, I'll work it out. So I'll put that there. Yeah, really dumb place that I did that at, but that doesn't matter now. Alright, so I'll just pop this through my die cutting machine. Pop this through. So pretty. I really love this flower pattern. It's very nice. It's a bit sticky, but I'll get it off. And here we go. All pretty. I love that. So take this off, and what I'm going to do is get rid of the thin die adapter and these, And I'm going to now cut the, it's not cut, I'm going to emboss that piece of purple posy cardstock, the 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 inch one. And I'm going to use this Coastal Weave 3D embossing folder for the first time. I think it'll look lovely. So let's pop this in its sleeve so I have everything all together. And I'm going to pop this through here. Okay, line that up. Actually, I'll line it up straight because I don't want to have any issues of it looking silly. So I'm going to just use the Big Shot platform, the embossing folder with the cardstock in it, and then I use the 3D embossing folder plate, and I'll run that through. And this now looks, oh, this looks really pretty. Look at that. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I love that. And that's the underside. The underside looks really cool as well. Anyway, I haven't decided which side I will use, so I will make up my mind once I start putting this card together. Okay. So that's all done. So now what I'm going to do is, oh, doesn't that look so pretty? Like, that's seriously really pretty. I think I'm going to use that side. So I'm going to pop some glue on the back of this piece of cardstock. This is a nice, easy card and very, very elegant and just beautiful. I love it. Okay, and then I'm going to use, that side looks lovely. I think that looks really nice. I can use it this way as well. But I think I prefer it this way. And I'll just see on the up and down here how that looks. That looks pretty too. But I'm going to use the embossed side, not the debossed side. So I'll just put some glue now on the back of that panel. Gosh, I love this purple. Really pretty. Let's pop this on the top. And I forgot to grab some dimensionals, so just leave me one moment and I'll be back shortly, and I'll just pop that up. Give me a second there. Okay, so I've just brought over my dimensionals, so I'm going to pop some at the back. And one in the middle. I'm going to press onto the back of the dimensionals, and that helps to pop up the backings. And one more. You can also use your paper piercer and you can stab it in there and get rid of them. All right, so I'm going to pop this now right in the middle of this beautiful card. And let's see. Pop it like this. Okay, and this is my finished card for today. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love the dimension of the Coastal Weave 3D embossing folder. It is just beautiful. Really adds a nice, elegant touch. Just love it. The stitch shapes dies are a must in your collection. I think any stitch dies are awesome. And I love the Easter Promise stamp set. Now this card I'm leaving blank, so I can easily add a sentiment down the bottom here in the future. But I have this card lying around. It can be used for a get well, it can be used as a sympathy card, it can be used as a birthday card, a thank you card, any card. So that's why I love going for stamp sets such as these, that although they're kind of geared towards Easter, you can also use them for other occasions. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you would like to purchase any of these products and I've inspired you, I would really appreciate your business, and I'd like to have that opportunity to earn your business. So if you would like to order through my online store at pepperlyrosepapercrafting.stampinup.net, I will really appreciate it. Thank you all so much for watching and taking the time out of your day to do so. I really appreciate it, and I hope I've inspired you today. And yeah, just take out sets, mix them all up, and the sky's the limit with colour combinations and embossing folders and things like that. All right, guys, thank you all very much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.